Guys, welcome back to another episode of The Desert Road. Today we have something very special for you. This is a 2024 Honda Civic Type R. This has been a total surprise to me today to drive, enjoy, and give you guys all my thoughts and the full lowdown of what exactly this is like to drive. As you guys know, these only come manual transmission, so I'm very excited to have my blast around town and feel what it is to dig in through this 6-speed on this car. Guys, before we jump into the review, if you've been following us for any time at all, you know we're all about owning, driving, and experiencing cars just like this Civic Type R for close to nothing. If you want to learn how to do that and how we do that, check out the link below. The Rule of Cars teaches you exactly how to do that. Let's go. All right, we're gonna do a brief walk around, just show you the exterior bits of this before we jump in and experience my favorite part, which is driving of the car. I've been very excited to get my hands on one just to see exactly what a manual car feels like for a 2024. Starting off here, just gorgeous, absolutely beautiful blue on this car. You can see the intercooler through the grille over here. Very aggressive front. We got the subtle Type R badging over here. I appreciate Honda put there. Classic red coloring. Same thing with the badge. We got the little hood scoop right here. Looks good. Very fitting for a car like this. Headlights, just everything flows well. Nothing stands out incredibly well. Just overall a very good looking front face of the car. You have the mirrors finished in black over here, the 19s all around. The surprising part with these 19s is just exactly how wide these are. These are 265s all around, front and back. Just very low profile tires. Comes on these excellent Pilot Sport 4Ss. We'll talk a little bit more about the ride and how these tires feel during our drive. You got the Brembo red brakes. Looks great. Nice choice by Honda to put awesome Brembo brakes on here. Stepping around the back, you got obviously the spoiler here on the back. Finishes off the car. It's not my personal favorite cup of tea on a car, but it works really well for this Type R. Without that, the rear would almost look semi-naked. You got the center exhaust over here. Nice little touch. Looks fairly aggressive here on the back. We can open the trunk while we're back here. It does require a little bit of effort to lift up. Nice spacious area over here. It's kind of almost like a hatch trunk in a way as well. So you can see that, but it has enough to get, you know, your bags for your weekend trip, for whatever, your daily haul. More than enough space in this car right here. And close this up. Again, just a little bit of effort to close that. Overall, a very, very handsome rear. Nothing's out of touch or positioned incorrectly on here. It just looks great overall. It even has these little winglet on this diffuser part here running along the bottom. Cool little touch as well. A little, this is actual pass-through right here. Looks good. Overall, I have no gripes with the exterior of the car from almost any angle. She is a stunner and definitely a head turner, especially in this blue. Let's take a brief look as we jump inside of this car. All right, stepping inside of here, you can see these bucket seats right here, fairly bolstered. We'll talk about the comfort here in a second. They're all manually powered up and down with the handle here. We got the front and back, the lift up handle here. So things on the more econo side start coming out as soon as you get into the car. Overall though, there are a lot of premium touches in here. It's not fully real Alcantara or whatever that is, but this suede-like material here on the doors. Over here, we got the steering wheel covered in that, the little compartment here, a little bit of a cubby storage space, this aluminum mesh grille right here. Overall, it does have a lot of cool premium touches here. Overall, all the feelings, I mean, given that this is a Civic, everything feels solid. Nothing is overly cheap. I have no major gripes with this interior. Yes, you're not getting leather covered anything, but overall the fit and finish and the quality of this is what you would expect for a Honda. So nothing is that cheap feeling to me in this car. You will notice it doesn't have any moonroofs or sunroofs in here, which is probably a good thing for a car like this, and you got the extra head space here. all the physical dials and buttons. We'll check that out once we power the car on. Let's check out the space in the back seat real quick before we jump in the driver's seat and take it for a drive. All right, examining the back seat, as you can see, this is finished in an entirely different color than the front, which is kind of a cool touch. You got the red stitching over here. These seats, this material does feel sort of cheapish, but it'll do. As you can see, another interesting touch is the cup holders have been placed just right in between the seats. There is no third seat here and no fold-out cubbies of any sort. They put the kind of cool little Type R badging in the back of the seat, so if you do get to sit here in the back, you're constantly reminded of exactly what this car is. Sitting here, even behind myself, fairly still spacious. Overall, it's a comfortable seat. I don't have any gripes with the comfort. I can easily do a longer road trip sitting here in the back, so if you're hauling passengers or perhaps even kids or whatever else it might be, not a bad place to be overall. All right, guys. Haven't checked out the back seat. We're gonna jump in here, take this for a brief drive, and give you my final verdict. Let's go. All right, guys, getting ready to take this on a drive. Clutch in, start button, car's on. Gotta get comfy in here, of course. Turn down the AC a little bit. Overall, again, these seats are bolstered. I'm fairly comfortable in here. I do have to sit fairly close up because of that long throw distance on the clutch pedal itself. So takes a little bit of adjusting, but overall, once I'm settled in here, I feel relatively good and comfortable sitting inside of here, but it requires a minor adjustment to get you exactly how you like it. The red seat belts, nice little touch. Again, very in Honda typical fashion. All right, we don't have a physical brake. We have a little brake e-brake button right here. You know, we lower that down, manual. And looking at the different drive modes, let me take a look at exactly what we are here. We're gonna start off in comfort, give you those perceptions first, and then go through the other modes after that. So again, sitting in here, everything feels pretty good. I'm enjoying it. We're gonna throw it into first gear and we're off on our little drive. All right, so we're taking off, we're driving this casually, third gear. And the question I have with this car, I mean, again, this isn't the most practical of all car buying options. You're talking pushing the price of this car new to about $50,000. This really screams to an enthusiast, probably even a younger enthusiast, somebody, I don't know, say between the ages of 20 to 40, who just wants to have fun in his daily commute. And is this the right car for them? Does this bring out the joy or the smile while you're driving it? So that's what we're kind of really attempting to answer this, is who is this for, and how much fun and soul does this car bring out? So again, driving it, manual, everything, engagement is relatively smooth, nice throw here, just in typical Honda fashion, just very precise, very, very easy to drive. One of the first things I notice is you feel very, very connected to driving this car. Your inputs, everything you think of, this car does. It weighs on the lower of 3,000 pound range. It's got 325 some horsepower, 310 torque, maybe the other way around, but overall low 300s in the horsepower and torque, and this car punches well, very well for the numbers that it has. On paper, it doesn't look like any kind of a speed rocket at all, but once you drive it, you really, really kind of get into the swing of things, and it has just enough power for everything you want to do. It sounds pretty good, and you know, so we're in second. We're gonna throw it into third, which is the real workhorse, and it has good pull all around. So never a lack of power, which was my impression at first when I saw the numbers on paper alone. The feeling of connectedness and just how kind of youthful and playful this car makes you feel is fairly outstanding. I haven't driven something almost this engaging in a while. This brings me back to the previous generation of cars when they were light, when they were manual, when they were fun, without all the electronic gadgetry and whatever else they blow today's car with. Dual clutch transmissions. This gives you the pure, unadulterated fun that we've been missing from the latest cars. I'm very happy Honda is sticking to its roots and was able to package something up in a small package and deliver it for the enthusiast at heart. All right, now, did a quick switch into R mode where this kind of stiffens up everything, better throttle response. It gives it a slightly stiffer suspension, more exhaust noise. And it's not a night and day difference, but it's enough to notice that little extra bark and bite in everything you do. Changes the gauge cluster here a little bit as well. It makes it a little bit sportier. There is no heads-up display in this car. Again, not a big deal at all, especially with this awesome cluster. We're not gonna talk too much about this infotainment, but having sifted through the menus, having listened to the stereo, I don't really have too many gripes with this. The stereo sounds great for what it is, and this is very responsive to all of your inputs. The AC controls are great in a wonderful spot over here. We got the physical controls for that. I'm happy they didn't bury that deep into the screen. That's just a side note for anybody that likes a little bit extra physical controls in this car. And there's a lot of comparison. I haven't driven the Integra yet. Between this and the Integra, is this or the Integra the more livable daily version? The consensus is and goes towards the Integra of this car. This does, I don't want to say it beats you up, but it's just a little bit rough around the edges. The tire noise is just slightly intrusive. And then we have it right now in the firmest of suspensions. You definitely feel it. You can probably even see it in this video. You do feel the jostling of the car with almost every bump in the road over here. It's not utterly bad, but it is sporty. It is spurty. It's fairly firm without being harsh. I guess that's a good way to describe it. All in all, I'm having a blast driving this around town. It's really putting that pep in kind of your everyday drive. Would I personally take this car myself, you know, for what I do? I don't know. It might be a little too much, especially if you're gonna put anywhere from like 10 to 20,000 miles a year. But overall, everything feels very well. It's sporty. It's very enthusiastic to get going. It's a very happy-go-lucky car without upsetting you in almost any way. One of the most appealing parts about this car to me is the handling and the precision with which is so. The way it just hunkers down in the road and around turns is impeccable. I haven't felt that in a car in a while. Being front wheel drive here, you can chuck it into corners. It comes out and goes exactly where you want it, and you don't have that fear of the rear end sliding out. In terms of taking turns, and the car almost like bends into the turn before you even think of doing so. I'm very, very impressed. A lot of it is, again, due to the size and the nature of the car. It's definitely helping out with the white tires as well. It holds and is glued to the road like no other. It doesn't have the big bloated feeling of, again, some of today's cars that just take a while to turn. All right, guys, rolling into the 3 likes, 3 dislikes. Number 1 like, of course, it wouldn't be a complete review without saying how much I absolutely enjoy driving and throwing the manual shifts around in this car. Cars are going away, obviously, with this transmission. This is 2024. We still have this in a Honda, and it's putting, and as a manual enthusiast, it's putting an absolute joy on my face to still see that in cars. Honda does it very well with their manual transmissions. Being a long-time previous S2000 owner, this is bringing me back to those days, and coupled with being in a Civic, just giving me a very youthful feel to just myself as well, and bringing me back to that golden era of manual cars. Number 2 like is definitely got to be the suspension and the dynamics of this car. While it could be somewhat firm in its sportiest modes, overall it's tolerable, and it adds to the sporty nature of how this car drives and what it is, what it tells you it wants to be. The handling is fantastic, that of which I haven't experienced in many cars, given many sports cars even of today's generation. Just feels overall very good without them infusing gimmicks in here like rear wheel steering or whatever other technology they blowed the modern cars with. And my third like is, given that this is a Civic, more of like an econo box, maybe the Type R leaning slightly more premium. We got the Bose stereo, we got these nice, you know, pseudo Alcantara touches, the leather shift knob. They definitely put a lot of thought, especially into the touch points of this car, which I appreciate them giving, which makes it feel like it's a car above its class, especially in things you're actually touching in here. All right, moving into the 3 dislikes. Number 1 dislike is, this is from a daily drivable point of view of this Civic, is just the tire noise. This comes on the excellent Pilot 4S tires, but between the lack of insulation due to, again, just being a Civic and more in the econo box sector, to just wide tires front and back, that noise, even on the smoothest, quietest road surfaces, is ever present. Moving into the 2nd dislike is how Honda, this Type R, leans more towards the boy racer design. I prefer the subdued nature of the Integra Type S, but again, everybody has their own preferences, and some people might like the showiness or the big wing of this car. Again, it's a personal preference. Maybe it's already showing my age or what, but I prefer the Integra when it comes to the looks aspect of this. And again, my number 3 dislike is, again, some of the build quality and touch points in here for a car costing $50,000. Even though there's some premium bits, other things do feel fairly more on the plasticky side. You know, you're talking the dash, there's a small rattle that's already in this car. The back seat is basically basic Civic in here. So a lot of cheaper interior bits here as well, which even though I don't fully like, they don't fully take away from this car. In conclusion, I really enjoyed my time spent with this Civic Type R. It puts a smile on my face like no other cars have in a recent while. It's easy to drive, it's fun, it has a very playful nature. It looks a little too boy racer for me, and I would probably stick to an Integra if I was buying a daily driver for myself. But for a day or a week of fun, I mean, honestly, this cannot be beat. I'm having a blast in here. This manual brings me back generations prior to how cars used to be, the simplicity, the interior, all the knobs here. Honda really did wrap this up pretty well. This car, if you're looking to get into this, or if you've been following the rule of cars at all, you know this car is going to keep its value fairly solid. So this is a strong buy all around, and I would encourage anybody looking for a sporty sedan to definitely give this a shot, or at least a drive. I think it's going to surpass your expectations of what this is like, what it feels like, and best yet, like how it makes you feel inside driving this. I really feel youthful. I feel like this car puts the pep in the step of the everyday drive, and I hope you get a chance to take one out for a ride. Thank you everybody for following us, giving us this thumbs up, and stay tuned for more and exciting videos on the desert road. Till next time.